This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. Let me start off by saying all of that. The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. We're going to have a good show today, okay? If you guys have ever tried to start a podcast and it didn't work out well, it's because you didn't strategize correctly, all right? We got a lady on here that's coming up today. Miss Dani Marie, man, she's a professional at it, all right? She's a podcast planning strategist, entrepreneur, of course, and we're going to talk to her today. Make sure we get some information. You know what I mean? She just left. What happened? Gina, what's going on? Unmute.
Hey, let me say it again. Hey.
Yeah. What's going on? What's going on? Everything good?
How's it going?
It's going great, okay? Mo B.
Man,
what's happening, Mo?
What's going on?
He made it.
Woo, you just don't know that ride wasn't no joke.
I know, Mo.
Hey man, we actually hold on. What's up, Marcella?
Hey,
Marcy.
Hey, everybody.
Marcy.
Cool. So we had a great experience over the weekend. You know, we're all in different parts of the United States and stuff, right? Y'all excuse me, I got something in my eye. And
your finger.
We all met up in hometown. We all met up at the hometown, Gary, Indiana. And Mo B came from Tennessee. Him and his wife, Mary Ann, man. So shout out to him. And it was really, man, it was good, man.
It was so good.
Family reunion.
Yeah.
Back when we was going to Maurice, and I started off in the trenches, okay? We mopped floors for the mall, and we was the buffing bosses at the mall, okay? But look at us now, right? We was
buffing bosses.
We was moving them
and sweeping,
slinging them mops and singing them brooms.
I had the boom box on blast.
Not at all. They let us do that, okay? But we came up. We came up out of there. But you never forget your humble beginnings, all right? And Mo, it's always been a good, I've been knowing you since high school, and you're still my brother, man. So it was good seeing you. It was good seeing everyone.
It was good, it was good seeing everybody. And Mary Ann got a chance to meet you guys, and she'd have met you virtually, but she, not one-on-one, which actually, she was talking about everybody, glad to meet everybody and everything.
Yes. It's different when you see people in person than on the on the screen.
It is.
We're so short.
Wait a minute, what you say? Wait, what?
So y'all looking at me talking about he's so short.
Y'all know.
Yeah, you look 6 feet in that chair, Maurice. He looks 6'5".
Maurice, that's not what I was talking about. You remember when I came in?
What?
Marcella, our guest was talking about you as well. Our guest she said that she does her homework. She's got to check everybody out. And it's important. And I understand because you don't want to attach your brand or have your brands out there with just a bunch of goofies. You know what I mean? So she checked everything out. And she's going to tell everybody her story. All right. We're going to let her do that. Everybody say, what's up to Miss Dani Marie?
Dani! Hello. Hey, how are you?
Some excited people in the place.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Danny. Unmute.
No, you guys.
And she's
I
on
put my kids down. I put my kids down, and of course, the little one just woke up.
Uh-huh. There's always the little one that started.
Are those the ones that were trying to seaweed?
I got one
was
here
that,
too,
Mark?
so I understand.
That the one I saw on her Facebook page trying seaweed for the first time? Is that what I saw?
Is that right, Danny? She said she was
Yes, that is correct.
hilarious.
That's right.
That was hilarious.
It's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming through, hanging out with us, and I know we can get a master class on this podcast game. All right, so
I can't wait.
I don't think so.
You never been in the game too long to learn.
Yes.
Okay. And just so you guys know, she's on a slight delay. Okay, so when we ask our questions, we got to give her the time to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You know what? I'm gonna go straight to the phone and just disregard what I have going on, because I don't want there to be any issues. So bring me back in 2 more minutes.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Gotcha.
So she's also a podcast host. She's a podcast planning strategist, a marketing strategist, an engagement officer, which I don't know what that means. I guess social media engagement. And she says that she thrives on cultivating successful personal and business podcasts.
Sound like
and she's had experience and success in doing so. So I thought it was
okay. Sounds good.
Interesting. And one,
It sounds like she knows what she's doing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
She tuned to us one day with and just sat there, and she gave a couple of comments. Okay, and I thanked her for it, and I said, you know what? I looked at her because I do my homework too. I looked at her. I was like, that's something that we have not talked about. You know, we haven't had our talk.
Well, it's actually something that I'm not familiar with. That's why I'm excited for her to get back on, because I want to know what all this is about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to know the difference.
Glad I'm able to get on today.
I want to know the difference between what we do and a podcast. You know what I mean? I think we do the vlog, well, the video. We do a show. Okay, I don't know what everybody else calls theirs, but we do a version of a television, a talk show, and you know, everybody podcast is different from what we do, or is it? See, I don't know. All I know is that she's done it all, and she's going to give us the opportunity to.
I don't know if in a podcast do you have an audience that gives immediate feedback and you're able can you do that in a podcast, or do they do that in a podcast?
Dani,
to me, when I hear podcasts, I hear more of the individuals having the conversation.
I turn that other one off. I turn the Facebook mute. Facebook.
She knows what she's doing. She's gonna turn that other one. There she goes. See, she got it.
Okay, guys.
You good,
My
Dani?
apologies. Thank you. I'm good. We're
All
just
right.
gonna work with the phone, not the whole production. We're just gonna work with the phone.
It's all good.
So thank you for having me. I'm really excited. Yes, I was in the comments at one point. That's how I discovered you all in the Black Podcast Network, which I'm so excited about. I know not all of us are active on that page, not all 20,000 members, but it is good to see that we're all working in our respective right, doing what we do. And yes, I did do some, digging in the crates and found out about author Gina and the fact that you have your guild. And then I was like telling Greg that I was doing my research on you, Marcella, but you keep it sealed on your page. Like, it's all sharing and reposting, which I can respect that too. So yes, I didn't get to do my due diligence on you, Mo. Sorry. But thank you for traveling and then still making it here to the interview. I mean, to this, being able to interview me. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
We call it, Dani Marie, we call it conversation. All right.
Yep. Yeah.
We don't like to interview anybody. It's home. All right. We home. Everybody that comes into the house, they family. So this
And you know what? I felt that. And you actually are all from Gary. I have some family there, and then I know that you guys are also in Chicago. So my family is from Markham, Illinois.
Okay. That's
gonna speak over there, boy. Yes, sir. But again, welcome to the show, man. You know, we were asking questions while you were transferring your video. Tell us what is podcasting?
I felt like this was going to come up, and I Googled it because that conversation is a big talking point for a lot of people. It's a very sensitive topic. Some people feel, though, a podcast should just be audio and it should be housed on a platform like Apple or Spotify. But podcasting now has evolved, especially post-COVID. A lot of people are now moving towards video as well. And so people will have their podcasts on an Apple and Spotify on a Tuesday, and by Thursday, you can expect to see that same content on YouTube, because the idea is that we're meeting people where they are at. And so I'm going to share so that we can all be on the same page. And I think that's important, just to lay the foundation.
Let's go.
So it's not my words.
Okay.
And then again, if you guys hear some snoring, I have my kid who just... Okay, a digital audio file made available on the internet for downloading to a computer or mobile device, typically available as a series, new installments of which can be received by subscribers automatically. And so you can do that on YouTube, quite frankly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. So what would you call what we're doing here a podcast, or what would this be called?
You guys made the decision. It was probably you, Greg. This is probably your mastermind. This is your creation, your baby. So I was actually going to ask you, why did you make the decision to make this Dope and then TV, Dope Living TV?
Okay, well, the word dope is a throwback word, which means good. Okay.
Sure.
And all of us, man, even though we've gone through it to get to it, we living well. We living great. All right. So you put it together, and actually, it honestly came from a record label that I had back in 2013. My son was, I did it for my son, and after him and his guys graduated, it kind of dissipated. So I just kept the name, kept the brand, but it always meant good living. All right. And I had a platform that was like a Netflix and everything like that. So that's where the Dope Living TV part came from.
925.
And you know, we don't even talk about 925, but yes, that's where all of that came from. But I wanted it to be, because I did a television show before, all right, for 12 years, and I wanted this to be more of a television talk show as opposed to a podcast. So, you know, you can tear me apart if you want. I mean, because that's what we got you here for, to explain it and make sure that we're doing the right things too.
Yeah. So no, I like the idea that you had this kind of forward thinking to kind of create TV and not necessarily classify or box yourself into a podcast. However, you can take this same feed and repurpose it. You can, especially now on YouTube, which they have created the RSS feed, and you can bring that over. So you can take the same content, repurpose it into a podcast. And I think that would be wise to do so, because again, we're trying to meet people where they are at. And so repurposing content in different forms, including newsletters, blogs, podcasts, any form of marketing is a very wise decision, so that you're meeting people where they are and growing your network. So yes, this can be considered a podcast, although you are housed on YouTube. And to also add to, you can make sure that you're being strategic by creating an RSS feed for your content here.
And for those that don't know what RSS is, can you explain that?
I always forget, and I think that there's different terms for RSS, like they use them interchangeably, but just basically how we have a website and a website, URL that identifies our website. This is what will basically help identify your podcast. All of your archived content will be housed through your RSS feed. So your RSS feed is what will help people identify. You can copy and paste your RSS feed, and people will understand that that's all of your content associated with your podcast. Similar to a website, that everything that comes with your website, everything that comes with your podcast is in your RSS feed.
Helps you with your branding too, because it's really simple syndication. That's what RSS stands for.
really simple syndication. But then also if you go to some other people, RSS can be used differently too. It's all the same thing. But yes, really simple syndication is, I think, what a lot of people know. But then if you do some other research, there's other people that say it a little differently.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting, guys. Okay. So we do have a podcast, okay, but again, we want to take it to I don't want to be pigeonholed or locked, you know what I mean? So that's the main reason why we do it as Dope Living TV.
Right. And Dani, I have a quick question. Would you say all podcasts are ready for TV?
You know, that's an interesting question too, because I think now people are moving into like the Rokus and moving their content to Roku. So again, repurposing your content for different formats. Do I think that everyone is ready for like a Roku TV platform? No, not necessarily. Even though I think that there's a big shift in people moving towards that. And the only reason why, I think maybe kind of scaling a little bit at a time, like your engagement, your followers, and then moving upward that way is more wise than just jumping into something like Roku TV. You don't probably have all of the followers and the engagement, even as a social media host or social media content creator. So maybe you need to kind of scale your way upwards. But no, I wouldn't say everyone necessarily needs a Roku TV platform. There is a big shift. And again, I did say that you should be repurposing your content, but I think everything should be done in a gradual process, a gradual step. And more people are finding people on a podcast, more so on a YouTube, because YouTube is the second largest search engine. So it's a lot easier for people to find you there. And then I don't think everyone has moved to Roku TV just yet in terms of the audience. So I think that would be a big task to try to get people to move over to Roku TV when we're just trying to catch up to podcasting or to finding people on YouTube. So no, not necessarily.
That's very interesting you say that, because I felt that a long time ago, that Roku, as great as it is, everybody's not ready for it. You know, you got to gradually do this. Go ahead, Mo. I'm sorry.
So you could access, you know, like I think Walmart is doing the proliferation of Roku right now. They got their own TV with Roku, but they also have the YouTube access too. So both of them are right there. So I mean, you got the Roku TV, and then in the Roku TV, the apps, you have the YouTube app. So I think the access is going to be equal sooner or later.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sooner or later. Also, I think that people who are establishing networks are probably more compatible with like a Roku TV. Like if you have a network and you're pushing different podcasts on your network, that makes a lot of sense. I've seen that too.
Just gave me an awesome idea. I'll talk to y'all afterwards.
That makes a lot of sense. So do you see in what you do, because you're a pro at this, do you see people, and I know I'm quite sure you watch a lot of podcasts, just glance at them and this and that. Do you see people who you can tell, and Gina gonna hate me for saying this, they put the cart before the horse and think that they are the greatest thing on earth, and they're really not?
That's in everything.
Of course. I would say that for myself. I'm fully transparent. But yes, and I think that the whole thing, fake it till you make it. Some people say you should not ever fake it till you make it. Some people say you definitely should. But for me, when I jumped off the porch when I first started, I was already trying to establish myself as a professional, and I was not there. I did not have all the equipment. I did not have all of the followers. But I think the more that I continued to tell myself that I was a professional in this space, the more that became a reality for me. So yes, people do tend to put the cart before the horse. And that's where I come in as a podcast planning strategist. I think that is extremely important, especially if you want to do this as a full-time gig. If this is something you want to do and put your all into this and build a business from this, including monetizing your podcast, then you do need to have a strategy. You do need to have a plan. That's saying if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I think that could be true, especially here in podcasting. So yes, I think when people jump into podcasting, there's so much in terms of which platform you should be housed on. Again, defining what a podcast is, what equipment you should use. All of that is a lot for anybody coming in, and you kind of jump in it just trying to hear from everybody else's opinions and how they did things. And sometimes that's not for you. So you have to scale backwards. And that's why a podcast planning strategy is important. But also, to your point, yes, people do tend to put the cart before the horse. And sometimes that's necessary for you to get the hands-on experience. So I don't fault anybody for doing so. But if you kind of are spinning your wheels and you're not seeing any growth, maybe within your first 6 months to a year, then you definitely should scale backwards and start to ask more questions.
Okay. Now, I read where you say that you thrive on cultivating successful personal and business podcasts. How long are you into the development stage that you see, well, this probably isn't going to work?
For a podcaster, so I'm laughing because actually today I had a client and he has not, and he's probably going to see this because he's in the same form as us. He wants to monetize his podcast and get to $60,000 or $100,000, and he has not been monetized and doesn't even have the engagement. I'm not going to be able to work with him. That's not realistic. It's not practical. So exclusive, if you're watching this, we're not going to be able to work with each other. So I think just having
I wanna wait for him to find out.
Well,
She's like, I know you're watching.
You heard it first
Let
on
me
Dope
tell
Living
you
TV.
now.
I'm sorry. We're
Well,
not going to be able to work with each
You
other.
heard it here first, exclusive.
Yes. Because if you're not even monetizing your podcast and you're not even taking, like, I can't even get him to respond to, and I'm not going to air out all his business, but
What's his name?
I can't even get him to respond to just basic emails. So, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into this. If you, again, are trying to get to a level where you're monetizing your podcast at $100,000 a month, from 0 to $100,000 in 30 days. So yes, if you are not willing to do the work, if you can't even do the basic things to kind of, what are you doing yourself to kind of help yourself along? Like, are you putting forth effort before getting a coach in? Are you putting the cart before the horse and trying to figure things out yourself? So we won't be able to work with each other because he has unrealistic expectations and he just doesn't do the work at the basic level. So
he wants
kind of
it
switch.
now.
Pardon?
Yeah,
now.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
putting
he
all
wants
the
it
carts
now.
in front of the horse. It's no
Yes,
horse. It's not even a
exactly.
horse. But let me
Right.
ask you because you made a statement about, if you don't have enough engagement, what do you consider enough engagement?
So for him specifically, he has like less than 50 likes, in terms of like on social media. We never really did get to do an audit of his podcast. There are platforms where you can kind of get some, analysis. But I would say just at the very bare minimum, you need to probably be in just starting off. Like we're talking about just launching maybe within the first 3 to 6 months. I think 100 to 300 downloads a month, and then moving up gradually to about 1,000 after your first year. And I think just kind of setting targets. After that first 1,000, I think you're pretty okay. And then I don't necessarily feel like to monetize, you need to have a whole bunch of downloads and followers, especially with somebody like you guys who have a community-oriented platform. You guys probably are touching hands, kissing babies all of the time with people in your local community. And so I think because you built relationship and rapport with people, then I think it would be an easy sell for you guys to go to a local, organization, local business, and kind of put yourselves. You guys have been doing this for a very long time. So I think relationship is a big part of it. But again, $60,000 to $100,000, you definitely need to be upwards of 10,000 plus. And if you want to be monetized at that level. And let me say this, monetization does not mean big name brands. You can do things like affiliates. You can do things like a membership community. You can do things like sell merch. So there are different ways to get monetized as well.
Now, you talk about podcasts, Dani, but this sounds like this concept is used in any kind of business.
It's marketing.
Marketing, absolutely. Yes, it can be. Again, you guys, whether you consider yourself a podcasting crew or not, you guys have Dope Living TV. Yes, you guys could go and pitch yourselves to a business and it will still work the same. Like you, Gina, with your guild and the people that you work with, I'm certain that some of those people would not mind having an ad placed on the platform. You know, how we had the video up front, something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody could do something like that. Absolutely. It can work for, you know, just creators. There's micro creators that are doing the same thing, content creators that are doing the same thing. So absolutely, it can work for anyone who wants to be in the content creation space, who wants to be an influencer. Yes, absolutely. I would agree. I'm
going to tell you, man, living legend Gary, she says, do you offer a course that gets the beginner ready? I got a clip from her because I'm going to start add. I didn't tell y'all. I'll talk to y'all about it, but I'm going to add it anyway. She has a fantastic platform that she's nurturing, and it's going to be huge. And she gives some lessons just like you do, but you'll see it later on. Okay. But she asks, do you offer a course that gets the beginner ready? So on April 8th, we're doing a 5-day podcast challenge, and I would love for her to shoot me a DM so I can send, well, actually, I'll just pitch it right now. plantopodcast.com/PTP. You can visit that website, and at the very top, you can see the link where you can register for that course or that challenge, 5-day challenge for you to get your podcast started. And we're going to start there. Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. Plan to podcast. So plantopodcast.com/PTP. And then that's a 5-day challenge. Every day we're going to tackle something for an hour and give you some insights on how to launch your podcast. And then I do also offer the podcast planning strategy. So I give you a full comprehensive podcast strategy. We can give you the digital version. We can give you the hard copy, but we'll customize it to your goals, your vision, your budget. And yeah, reach out to me. But
that's interesting.
I
April
love
8th,
that.
right? We got to put that. I got to put that up here, man. So April
Is that correct,
8th,
Danny?
yes, it is. Whatever your name is, lady, Marcella Thingy. Yes, that's it. That is it. All right, let's let it roll. Let's see what we create a banner here.
He's so silly.
I'm not silly. I'm Greg. What you talking about?
Silly Greg.
What are you talking about? Let that run there. All right.
All right.
So, and that's good. You know, and you want to help. What made you want to start doing podcast strategist? Being a podcast strategist.
you know what? People just started asking me because I was doing 5 podcasts. Okay, let me, again, all on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing, in which I don't see the difference or the effort was the same. So I was doing 5 podcast shows. So Motivation Monday Mommy Meetup, basically having conversations with moms, busy moms who were in business and momming, and how do you balance it all? Life Unscripted was the one-on-one engaging conversations. People would talk about their transformations. We would talk to authors. We would talk to coaches and consultants, business owners. And what did you have to get through in order for you to arrive at the place that you're at currently? Then we had Throw It Back Thursday, basically talking about everything that's happening in social media and mainstream. And then Follow Me Friday was an opportunity similar to this forum for you to come talk about who you are, where you're from, what you do, and essentially why people should follow you. And then Plan to Podcast was a podcast about podcasting. So I brought in all kinds of podcasters who could speak from their personal experience about what made them launch and how are they growing and monetizing their platforms. And that just became an addiction for me once I started with Follow Me Friday. I started with, to be very clear, a few years ago with my mom, tripping over my words, Mother and Daughter Duo podcast. So MAD for short. And that was when I became a mom for the first time. And we just kind of put a pause on that only because I do want to build a network. And so I see the network in the future for other moms and daughters and having those important conversations. So on our podcast, we talked about, mental health, childhood trauma, societal stigmas that single moms face. We talked about generational curses on that podcast. And so once I became a mom of 2, it became a lot more difficult to manage that in the professional studio that we were at with the producer and high level production. So then I was like twiddling my fingers at home. And then I said, what can I do to still reach the people? And that's how Follow Me Friday came about. And then it became addictive. And I just started doing all of these podcasts. So essentially every day of the week was a different podcast. And I recorded about 2 podcast episodes a day.
Man, you're busy.
So people started to ask and inquire, like, how are you doing this? What is the workflow? How can I do this? How can I be successful? Again, I am doing this full time. So I understand people can't always put the same force of commitment if you're working and doing this, but it is possible.
But they're trying to get to that. Okay, so this is good. This is good information. They're trying to get to doing this full time. How important to you is and I know it's a dumb question, but I want you to espouse on that. How important is it to you to network?
Yeah, that's why Follow Me Friday came about. Like, I still wanted to reach the people, still connect with people, still exercise those muscles. But from the time I was like 13, I was volunteering at nursing homes. Like, I always just wanted to be with people, help people, give back. So it's extremely important to network. But also, if you, especially today in today's climate, if you're not connecting with people and trying to build and grow in some capacity, you are going to get left behind. You are already lost in the sauce.
That's right. You can't do it alone. I tell people that all the time. I get authors that come to me and ask me, how do I promote this? I'm not moving this book. You can't do it alone. You have to network. It's easier when you have a group of people pushing something than just you by yourself. Not to say you can't get there, but it's going to be at a snail's pace.
Absolutely. It'll be a very long journey and you will grow tired. And then you'll start to find very soon that you definitely need to move out more. If you don't do it now, you'll find out sooner or later, right? So I would agree with you. And being a mom at home full time, I did not have the luxury of going out and getting active, or what people were saying, like, we back outside. I did not have that luxury. So I had to build my ecosystem from home. So again, networking is extremely important. I did not want to sit here idly. I needed to be doing something. And so I said, okay, well, let me create Follow Me Friday so I could talk to people, give them a platform to share what they're doing. And then from there, I've built, several different relationships. And one of which I cultivated that relationship for over a year, and she reached out to me and said, I would love if you could take over my Facebook group because I'm moving into something different. So that's why networking is extremely important, because you never know who God will use to bless you.
Absolutely. I agree with
you. Some people have to pay for a Facebook group. So her Facebook group is called Podcasting for Newbies. I'm a podcast planning strategist. This is a gold mine. So that's why it's important to network.
Absolutely. Everybody, we are talking with Ms. Dani Marie. She is a podcast strategist. She's also a podcast host, and she's a marketing strategist and an engagement officer. Yes, we do have another Jamaican on the show. All right.
Yes, you
Y'all
do.
on.
I
heard you say, like, I don't know what that is.
I know. That's what we were talking about when you were fixing your computer. We were like, we got to find out what that engagement officer is. All I know is officer, and I'm afraid right now.
Right. So you know what? The name is lengthy, and sometimes, again, I trip over it myself. But again, networking is extremely important. So somebody saw me, discovered me, saw the passion that I had for podcasting. They reached out. They have a platform where they are helping people edit their podcasts, helping people produce high-level content, helping people with the marketing and the flyers. So they said, let's do a collaboration. We bring you on board as the Chief of Engagement Officer, Media Strategist. And, we worked out a deal that was, beneficial to the both of us. And so, that is how that came about. And essentially, I'm just helping people move people into their book of business. But it makes sense for me as someone who's helping people with their podcast. So if you want someone to help you edit your podcast so it sounds pristine and comes across really well, then obviously I can connect you with the right people. Y'all Life Media, another plug, shout out, YALIFE media.com. But yeah, they can help you even if it comes down to flyers, pamphlets, anything of the sort.
That's how you barter black people. That's how you do
That's
that.
right.
Shout out to the barter black.
And we also have an issue with that too. A lot of us don't like to share our ideas and like to network with one another because we're afraid of them taking our ideas and appropriating all of our ideas. And I understand that too, but we should not have to operate out of fear. So what God has for you is for you. And step out on faith and just know that even if they did take something, they are not you. You are the original. What God has for you is for you. Like I said,
be different.
Yeah, it's going to be way different. God won't bless that mess, right? So
I love her already. I love her.
Thank you.
Hey, Kelvin Big Papa Tima says, what advice would you give to someone who has an audio podcast?
Well, what advice are you looking for? So if you already have an audio podcast, if you're looking to grow, so I believe in 3 phases. So launch, growth, and monetization. So obviously, if you already have a podcast, I would consider you to be in the growth stage. If you want to grow, something that we already talked about is you do need to work on your personal branding. You do need to reach out more. So if you have an audio podcast, you can create short clips, even if it is audio podcast. You can put the text overlay and just use the audio in the background, repurpose that, put that up on a platform or your social media or YouTube. You can create blogs around it, a newsletter, a magazine. I would say my top 5, I guess, tools for you would be maybe Descript, if you're not using Descript, to help make your audio a lot better if you're not already doing so.
Yeah.
CapCut is also useful. Some people don't really see the value in CapCut, but you can use CapCut. Audio podcasts, you can use Canva for, like I said, the text overlay or the visuals to kind of put over your video. But then also repurposing your content can look like I said, on a YouTube, or YouTube or social media, but you can put like your your cover art for your podcast as the image, and then just put your podcast clips underneath it. So maybe you take out 2 minutes of your podcast that you felt was really good content and repurpose your content that way. Yeah, you have to reach out to me and ask me specifically what you would like. But I do have a ton of ideas for you. Audio podcasts, I think a lot of people do shy away from that personal branding side. They hide behind, and I'm not saying this is you, but they do kind of hide behind the fact that I can be comforted behind the mic and not necessarily be the face. And so I think that you should come out more, maybe go live, maybe a few times out of the week or a few times out of the month so people could see you, because it's nice to have a podcast, but no one knows what your podcast is and they can't find you. So you have to be visible in other spaces.
And you got to identify yourself as well. I mean, make sure people, like she said, go out. Let people see you every now. Don't just stay out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go out there and let people see who you are, and so that your podcast can have a face to the presentation.
And you know what? You in different settings, you choose different podcasts. When I'm in the car, I will listen to an audio podcast as opposed to one such as ours, because now I'm driving, I can't look at my phone, but I can hear the podcast. But then, when I'm home, I prefer to have a visual podcast.
Right.
So I think depending on the setting that you'll choose either one.
That's a good point. So yeah, think about, again, who your audience is and meet your people where they are at. So again, a lot of people are kind of cooking when they're listening to a podcast, they're traveling. So try to kind of add some of that into what you're doing. Create the experience and the ambiance for them, just meeting people where they are at.
So, Marcy, we're gonna have to we're gonna take a quick little break here. Marcy, you're gonna have to get another intro for this here, okay? But it's Rachel L. Gary, all right, CEO of your life. Check this out, and Dani, let me know. Check this out, and you give us your honest opinion about what she's saying. All right, check this out.
Hey there, stopping by just to drop a gem. You know, when a lot of times that we're having problems achieving a goal and we're wondering why we keep allowing distractions to get in our way, that's because we haven't dealt with one of three things: either our self-esteem, our self-care, or our self-discipline. When we take the opportunity to work on the person that is self, it allows you to be more accountable to your dreams, more accountable to your goals, and more equipped to handle the challenges that are going to come up. And always be in motion and be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You.
That's my dog. That's
yes,
right.
I love that.
She's we're actually going to be playing some of those on the show. Okay, it's inspiration. We love to be inspiring. We love to leave people with some good stuff. Right? What you think about that, Dani?
So the image that came to me right away when I heard her say that is that whole thing when you point this way, there's all these fingers pointing back at you. So, and I don't remember verbatim how it goes, but you're busy pointing fingers when most of the fingers are pointing back at you. And so everything does start with self first and foremost. So I love this idea of self. For the month of March, I'm taking, I was attempting to take 31 days off of social media. It is very hard to do when you have a business.
We ain't gonna let you do it.
Yeah, they won't. And then when they gave me that Facebook group, it was like the day before I was supposed to be out the door. So I had to kind of be around. But the whole idea was to take time for self. And through that experience, I've been reading a lot. I've been able to build a lot. I've been able to reflect, talk to God a lot more. So we don't like to do that self-talk. We don't like to sit with ourselves. We don't like to self-reflect. We don't like to be introspective. But someone had me on their platform. It was another podcast interview. This is a conversation, but it was a podcast interview. And she was basically asking, her series was about self. And she was asking me, how do you, what is it? Not self-love, but how do you mother yourself? Self-love. Yeah, self-love and mother yourself and nurture yourself. And I thought that was so important, especially as a mom. But how important it is that we do love and nurture ourselves and we have that talk with ourselves and we kind of sit with ourselves and sit with our stuff. And until you do that, you will be complacent, you will be stagnant. Life won't, go as exactly how you plan it to be. I'm also reading a book called Blessings and a Curse, and how important it is. We've been talking about just even in family, a lot of times we don't get to kind of digest everything that's happened with family, and all of that stuff comes back up. So if you don't explore some of those things, your life will be stagnant and you won't understand why. A lot of it has to do with, the lack of knowledge that you have about self and your family, your bloodline, the generational curses that are on the family. So I do believe everything that she said. I stand by that 100%.
Yes. Dani Marie, man, we getting another masterclass, Gina.
Yes, we are, and I'm loving it.
Yes,
so much,
I am.
So much knowledge that you're bringing to us. All right, and
like
everybody else, we getting it for free. But I'm just playing. But hey, this is her business, y'all. So
you said the bill is in the mail.
You reach out,
right? I will invoice
email for that invoice, homie.
You reach out to her, this is her business. You reach out there and you get off of the coin and give it to her for real, all right? Because it's very valuable information. She wants to help everyone to get to their better position, all right? You had the three things. What was it? It was starting your podcast. It was growing and monetizing, all right? So my thing is, this is some information that everybody needs to go, and we will make this, Gina, this will be one of those replayable shows as well.
It needs to be. This is, I'm just listening to you. I haven't talked much today, and that's unusual for me.
It is unusual.
Very unusual for me.
Yes,
but
it is unusual.
So as I was trying to say, this information is very, very useful. Because there are so many people out here trying to do podcasts, and a lot of this information you really don't just have people that will give this to you. So I am in the process of getting mine together, and I will be contacting you also soon.
Blessings. Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is a conversation. Do you believe that? And I know you kind of asked this question too. Should everybody have a platform, such as the TV? But do you believe everybody should have a podcast? Because that's also a big conversation that people are having. Everybody should not have a podcast. Should I tell you what I think, or should I wait?
What do you think?
I believe that everybody should have a podcast, even if as outrageous as they are. I feel like the outrageous and the super poignant and powerful podcast helps us all to kind of find our middle ground. So I do believe everybody should have a platform, but you guys tell me what you guys think.
You know what? If the platform is, and this is just my opinion, if the platform is of value to others, because that's what we're doing. We're being visual, but we want people to understand who we are, number one, because we're very transparent as well. And I think if it's something of value, yeah, they should. But if it's not, I mean, I don't want to see a bunch of people getting on, yo man this, yo man that, blah 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 blah. I mean, YouTube is full of that. All right, they're full of it. All right, can they change up? If you could help them, but do they want to be helped? That's the thing. Do they want to be helped, or do they want to be that? I'm gonna stop talking. Go ahead, Gina.
I don't think everyone should. Everyone is not made for everything. And this is even with podcasting, it's something that I think you have to have a skill for. Everybody's not camera ready.
They're not relatable.
Podcast ready. And I just don't think everybody should. I think it's made for specific people, just like everything else that we do out here in the world is made for specific people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, I agree with Gina. Everybody shouldn't have, because we got enough for everybody, having their own show on VH1 right now, and that's done got ratchet and raggedy. That is ridiculous, And podcasts, it seems, we get a little bit more intellect in there. People have a chance to actually drill down a direction in which they want to do something. And some of them need some help, when they first start. But as time goes on, you get used to what you're doing. It seems like they come into their own, or they just call you up and they say, "Hey, help me drill this down. Help me point." Do you help point people in a direction, or say, "Hey, this is not a spot that you can't. It's just too wide open. You gotta focus a little bit more on what you want to do." Do you help them with that kind of stuff?
Well, let me ask Dani this first, okay?
Can I answer?
Go ahead, Marcel. I'm sorry.
Okay, I am in agreement with Gina and Mo B. I don't think it's for everyone.
I said it too.
And
you agreement with me too?
Right. I'm getting ready. I'm going to get you, honey. Sweet pie. I'm going to get you, baby. And then also how Greg said, if it's relevant, to something that's that can help someone. There are a gazillion podcasts out there. Some are just cookie cutter, just like the next one. I kind of get tired of seeing that. I'm taking care of a loved one that has dementia, and I found one, and it was actually a lady with her husband as he was going through. He's since passed away. I cried. It was like you knew the couple by the time you were watching the podcast and their daily life. And some of the things that I saw her going through with her husband is helpful. And so that's like what Greg was saying about if it's relevant, if it's helpful, it can help other people. Yes. If it's just something raggedy and boom chica, somebody on there just want to be seen, absolutely not. Boom chica. Yeah.
Let me say this, Marcy. Let me say this real quick, Mo. So what we do here at Dope Living TV, Dani, just so you know, is that number one, we are all transparent. Number two, we're not trying to tell all the news and this and that is going on out there. We want people to understand the journey. All right. Everybody goes through something to get to something. Yes, we've had celebrities on the show, but we pride ourselves on having just the average entrepreneur who's gone through the worst of times and gotten to the best of times right now. And we tell a story, and people, our audience can learn from their stories. That's what we try to do, So we don't have a set, we don't say, okay, well, now we're going to break for news and, here's a music video here and going to do this and do that. Okay. We just keep it 100, period. And that's how we got together. I got with Gina first. I've been knowing Mo forever. Marcella, I've been knowing her for a long time. Young Jeff Relaford, who's a life coach, he's been on, he's been, so it's just organic that we came together. We started with FaceTime. Hold on, Gina, let me get somebody else on. Click. Okay. click, trying to get somebody else on, have to take her, but that's how we do. And we wanted to be just, and I think that's why, because people always say, what differentiates you from the other shows? We're not trying to be regimented. Right. We want to take people and let them tell their journey, let them tell their stories, and learn something from them. Okay, as we've learned from you today.
So I think the question I wanted to ask you, I've been kind of holding back, do you think this is the next social human interaction, you know what I'm saying, versus one-on-one, man and man, woman and woman? Do you think that this is the next thing to say this is how we interact with each other?
Well, I thought you were going to say, do you think podcasting is like the next social media? And I was going to say absolutely. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But still, absolutely, to your point. I mean, people are getting married to robots. So absolutely, we are.
What?
Back that up. Come on. What?
Yes, this whole AI culture is, we haven't even scratched the surface. But yes, this is this new generation of people. Obviously, the phones is where a lot of us, live and stay. So again, going back to networking, how important it is to just be with people, but also in social settings. Mm-hmm. But yes, I do believe just a week or two ago, people are literally creating robots and marrying robots. And I know there's a lot of satire out there, but I mean, that is the conversation that people are having, is like, people, I don't want to go too vulgar, but people use tools now, right? So just people are using tools now. So yes, people are literally falling in love with AI, and that's going to be the next thing. Absolutely. Because, AI will tell you what you want to hear. Literally everything on our feeds is being spoon fed to us based on the things that, they know, the programming, the things that they know that we like and the things that we indulge in. So yeah, if AI could tell you everything you want to hear and do everything for you, all of everything for you. Right. Yes, I believe that's the next thing.
Hold on, let me talk to my wife. Hold on for a minute.
That's right. I know that's right. Yeah, I do believe it. It's unfortunate, but nothing new under the sun, and everything comes back around. So I think that, we'll probably grow out of that further down the road somehow. I don't know. It would be I don't even know. I get scared too sometimes thinking about that, but yeah. It's very interesting times.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They're talking about getting rid of TikTok in the United States. So, things are happening. Yeah, I saw some news, but, that's news that we could use, right? But everybody, we have been talking with the fantastic, the amazing Miss Dani Marie. She's doing this podcast thing and telling people how to do it the right way. Dani, if there's something you could tell these people that are out there trying to do this, what would it be?
So, and one more thing I wanted to add back to Mo. And then people have the goggles now that they're kind of using all of the time. So yeah.
VR.
I would say an acronym, just something that you can remember if you are a podcaster, is POD, P-O-D. And that's the planning, that's the organization, and that's the planning, organization, and design, or the development stage. So if you're kind of always cycling or running through that POD, planning, organizing, and developing, no matter what stage you are at, if you are launching, if you are growing or monetizing, you're always going to rinse, recycle, and repeat. So what's the plan? What's the strategy? Even if you're just now starting off, you're planning your podcast, you need to think about your purpose and your passion. Who is it for? Who are you trying to reach? Which platforms are you trying to use? Do you want to be on Apple and Spotify? Do you want to be on Red Circle? Those are the things you should consider. Do you want to have a high produced podcast studio, or do you want to start off small using your phone? Think about those things, and that's really all you should consider just starting out in the launch phase. Then organizing, like once you know what kind of podcast you want to do, who you're going to serve, who your audience and target is, then think about how you're going to organize it. Do you want to interview people? Do you want to have kind of this roundtable discussion that Dope Living TV has created? Do you want to just kind of be a solo podcaster where you're just doing monologues and everything is kind of about you and the things in your perspective, your point of view? So there's different styles, but do consider the styles and do think about what kind of category you're in, and do think about how the organization is going to be. What is your workflow? How often are you going to podcast? What time are you going to devote to editing your podcast? And then just the development stage, like once you kind of got your first 3 to 5 podcast episodes, always constantly reassess things. What worked well? What didn't work well? What things would you change? What are people saying? What are your analytics looking like? So POD is the planning, the organizing, and the development stage. And you should always put that in rotation to make sure that you're working towards your goals at the end of the day. I don't think that it's wise to just have a podcast if you are doing this for long term, because it is a long-term game. But if you don't have a plan and you're just doing things haphazardly, I don't think that that's going to, you're going to be burning your wheels, spinning your wheels, and find a year or 2 years from now, you're not growing. So if you have a strategy and you're working towards that, then you will see growth. And that's what I would say. Again, my information is up there. Please follow, join the challenge. I said, please follow. My information is up there. Please go to the website and then join the challenge as well. And thank you all for the opportunity.
Oh, no, the opportunity. Come on. Thank you for the blessing. Okay, go ahead, Marcy.
Thank you, Dani Marie, for coming on. You have been such a blessing and so much great information. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No B.
Man, I don't know if I should pay you $1 million now later on when I make it.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate you a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you, Dani, you opened up a market that was not even there. And I'm really in awe about this whole thing. I can see a lot of people probably trying to follow what you're doing, and I don't know if there's people out there that's doing what you're doing. This is the first I've heard of it. So take it by storm, girlfriend. I'm loving it, and you know what you're doing.
She does, man. She brought up a lot.
I feel like I want to say something to each and every one of you. When could I talk? Okay. I really, really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless you. But yes, when you're walking in your purpose, it just pours out of you. I know I was just like talking at a mile a minute. So thank you for just having me and receiving everything that I was trying to give, because that is me at the core of it all. Just give. And then I was like, you know what? I'm giving a whole lot. Let me just make some coins off of this. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
Oh, no. Like I said, we have to, you're a blessing. I think if everyone who's watching this and those that are going to watch it later off of YouTube and everything, take heed of what she said. There's a lot of good nuggets that she gave us, all right? They fill a bowl, okay? They really do. They fill a bowl of nuggets. But stay consistent as well, all right? You cannot be in this game a long time if you are not consistent, and that's going to let your people that you're trying to monetize for, they're going to see the consistency. They're going to love it. They're going to definitely jump on board for you. Dani Marie, man, look, we would love for you to come back to the show again and talk some more. Maybe we'll just shut up the whole show and just let you talk and get some more free advice.
If you could talk for an hour, I don't think you'd mind that.
For free. No, I'm just
blessing. Thank you.
She was a blessing. Gina, who we got tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Cherie Yvette, who is gives a tribute to Whitney Houston.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to hear about her journey. Maybe we can, I don't know if we can pull that music off on here or not. You know, they shut us down. But
We're going to get her to sing. If she can sing, she's singing, all right?
Danny
Marie,
we can sing.
Dani Marie, we appreciate you coming to the show. You're welcome to come here anytime you want. It's open for you. That seat right there going to be there for you. Don't worry about it. We got you.
I will love that. Thank you all again.
Rachel, Gary, thank you for doing your part as well. Okay, we look forward to seeing more of these nuggets that you're giving, all right? And Mo, I'm glad you made it home safe, bro.
Ooh. That ride wasn't no joke, bro.
Yeah, but you was in the caddy. You was good, boy.
They were rolling good. I know that.
Yes,
they were rolling good.
Definitely.
Believe it or not, that car got from there home. I still have a quarter tank of gas.
Look at that. Hey, Danny, he should have vlogged with the V. He should have vlogged that journey. You should have did that, Mo.
I should have did that, yeah. I should have did that.
I know wifey would love that too. Oh, let me not say wifey. Your significant other, your lovely wife would love that too. Just kind of she probably can help you out with that
queen.
too.
Yeah, she knows.
Your queen.
You don't have to do nothing just like this. Baby, she said yes. I said, my queen, yes. you see, I get juicy around here. I just
that's so damn sweet. All right. Anyway,
they were. The dynamics between that couple was awesome.
Yeah, they're a beautiful couple. Awesome. All right, Dani Marie, man, I'm just so happy that you came through, man, and you know, again, you blessed us. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
This is Dope Living TV Live, man. We will see you guys tomorrow. All right, peace.